Revealed, my son's heartwarming voice message meant for his wife exposed hidden love for me. It was just another ordinary afternoon in Maplewood, where the sun filtered through the tree-lined streets, casting gentle shadows on Jack's modest home. The hum of life buzzed outside, but inside, chaos reigned. Jack, a proud father and once a lineman at the local factory, now faced the grim reality of being jobless. Bills piled high like small mountains stared back at him from the kitchen counter, a constant reminder of the weight pressing down on his family. Yet, he remained devoted, determined to teach his 16-year-old son, Tyler, the value of hard work and perseverance. As Sarah, Jack's wife, floated through the kitchen with soft reminders about grocery lists, Tyler was lost in the world of adolescence. The bond he once shared with Jack felt frayed, distances stretching further each day. But that day, everything would change. Tyler, trying to reach out to his girlfriend, Hannah, inadvertently sent a voice message to the family group chat. I really admire Dad, he had said. I mean, it's tough, and I can see him trying to keep everything together. He's resilient. I respect that. The message, filled with sincerity, carried a weight heavier than expectations and economic strife. It exposed Tyler's hidden admiration for the man who had quietly battled life's storms. As the audio played, laughter turned to tears. Jack felt a choke in his throat, a mix of pride and vulnerability. The sun dipped lower, casting a golden hue as memories of his struggles surfaced. Memories of slaving away, of feeling the shame of not providing enough, of nights spent worrying about how to pay the bills. But here, in this moment of accidental revelation, Tyler's words bound them closer together, yet, freshness brewed into storm clouds. Sarah, caught in the crossfire, voiced her frustrations, a sound that echoed years of unspoken conflicts. You don't even see the pressure I'm under, she exclaimed. With every harsh word, the air thickened, tensions rising like thunderheads. Within moments, their kitchen transformed into a battleground of emotions. Jack's heart raced, and he felt each word cut deeper. Was he doing enough? Could he save this family from the judgment of a world that didn't understand their struggles? Before they could mend the fractures, something unexpected happened. A message arrived, an opportunity for Jack to reclaim his place, a job offer from the community that had always surrounded him. Hope flickered in the dull chaos, an ember seeking air. But could he risk it? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As emotions swirled, laughter began to break through the tension. Jack looked at Tyler, his son's eyes glistening with unspoken admiration, the flickering lights of hope amidst their darkness. Yet the weight of choice loomed large. Would accepting this job solidify their bond, or push them apart forever? And just as Jack opened his mouth to speak, Tyler's voice chimed in again with a message that sent a jolt through his heart. What would it say? The family gathered around the phone, breaths held tight, as they waited for the answer to the questions that could change everything. The seconds felt like hours as silence enveloped the kitchen. Jack's heart thudded in his chest, an anxious drumbeat echoing off the walls, filled with fears and hopes. The phone screen lit up, and Tyler's voice filled the room again, fragile yet fierce. I really need to say this. I've been thinking about how hard you work, Dad. I don't want you to feel alone. Jack exchanged a glance with Sarah, who seemed caught between rage and concern. Tears pooled in her eyes, the facade of anger cracking under the weight of their son's heartfelt words. For a brief moment, the busyness of life faded, replaced by the warmth of shared vulnerability. Tyler's voice was a lifeline, a reminder of their shared humanity amidst chaos. I want you to know that I see you, Tyler continued. I don't just see the job struggles, but that you're still there for me. I get it now. And I appreciate you more than I ever said. A lump formed in Jack's throat, but he fought back the tears. It felt like a balancing act between despair and hope, and Tyler's words tipped the scales in favor of light. Tyler, Jack finally managed to utter, but before he could finish, Sarah stepped closer to her son, her voice trembling. You really mean that, honey? Yeah. Tyler looked down, fidgeting with the hem of his shirt. You guys have always been there for me. I want to make sure you know I'm here for you too. The room hung in a tender quiet, raw emotions swirling around them. Jack felt the heat of pride surge in his chest. It was about so much more than a job. This was about connection, understanding, family. In a flash, he understood the gravity of what it meant to be a father. It wasn't just about providing, it was about being present, being seen, being heard. Jack stepped forward, pulling Tyler into a tight embrace. You have no idea how much that means to me. I've been feeling so lost lately, but hearing you say that it reminds me why I keep pushing through. Tyler melted into the hug, the weight of teenage indifference briefly forgotten. Sarah joined in, wrapping her arms around her boys. They stood together in a magical moment, the night falling softly outside, draping the world in a comforting nothingness, but just then, Jack's phone buzzed again, breaking the moment like a sudden clap of thunder. It wasn't another message from Tyler but something different, an email notification from the job he'd applied for. Heart racing, Jack took a step back, glancing at the screen. Guys, it's from the community center. Hope seeped back into the air, stitching their hearts together with the threads of possibility. As Jack read the message, excitement mixed with anxiety. He needed this job not just for himself but for his family. But then a thought snagged at the back of his mind. What if he failed again? Dad, what does it say? Tyler pressed, eyes wide with curiosity. As Jack stared at the screen, he realized this was more than just a job offer, it was a chance to rebuild everything they had been fighting for. But would it bring them closer, or would the weight of new expectations drive them apart again? With a shaky breath, Jack turned to Tyler and Sarah, the uncertainty hanging in the air like a fragile promise, waiting to be fulfilled. And as he opened the email, the truth he discovered could lead them down a path they never expected. What would it reveal? Jack's fingers trembled as he opened the email. The screen glowed before him, revealing a stream of text that felt heavy with potential. He scanned the words, heart racing faster with each line. They were interested. They wanted to invite him for an interview. A wave of relief washed over him, and hope flared back to life, but it was shadowed by the nagging worry that had haunted him for weeks. What if he didn't get the job? Dad, is it good news? Tyler's question pulled Jack from his thoughts. He glanced up, seeing the nervous anticipation in his son's eyes. It's an invitation for an interview. The words tumbled out, a mix of disbelief and excitement. Really? That's amazing. Tyler's face broke into a wide grin, and in that moment, everything felt possible. Sarah stepped forward, her expression softening even more. I knew you could do it, Jack, she said. A warmth spread through him at her words, a flicker of old feelings reigniting in the soft glow of the kitchen. What kind of job is it? Tyler asked, eager to know more. Jack swallowed hard. It's at the community center. They need someone to coordinate programs for kids and families. The thought made his chest swell. He imagined working every day to strengthen the community and enrich their lives. He envisioned his kids laughing and playing, posters of local art on the walls. This held promise. What if I mess up? He muttered, feeling that familiar doubt creep in. What if I fail again? Tyler stepped closer, placing a hand on Jack's shoulder. You won. You're not a failure. You've done it all before. Besides, you've got us behind you, right, Mom? Sarah nodded, and for a moment, they stood united. Jack felt a rush of gratitude, warmth spreading through him. This was the kind of support he had always wanted to give his family. To be surrounded by love and encouragement. A laughter broke the tension as Tyler looked quizzically at his dad. Why do you always doubt yourself? There's no one better for this, Dad. I guess I worry, Jack admitted, finding it easier to reveal his vulnerability after Tyler's earlier honesty. Worry is okay, Sarah chimed in, gently squeezing his arm. But don't let it control you. You've got what it takes to get this job, Jack. The validation hung between them, a fragile but powerful bond. Jack nodded slowly, feeling the weight of their belief in him. It was as though this job application, this potential opportunity, held the key to not just his future but their family's unity. Suddenly, an idea sparked. You know what? Let us celebrate. Jack exclaimed with unexpected enthusiasm. How about we make a big dinner together? We can prep for the interview and talk about what this job could mean for us. Yes. Tyler said, excitement lighting up his face. I'll help with the cooking. Can we make those tacos we love? And I'll put together a dessert, Sarah added, her eyes sparkling. As they sprang into action, the kitchen transformed into a whirl of laughter and chatter. Jack found himself grinning, the weight of fear lifting as their voices harmonized in joy. The celebration felt like a fresh start, a promise that they were all in it together, but just as they were gathering ingredients, a sharp ping echoed from Jack's phone again. He froze, the moment slipping from his fingers. Another message. His heart pounded. Could it be another update on the job? He wiped his hands on a towel, glancing at the screen. What if this was a setback, another challenge? With a deep breath, he opened the new notification, pulse racing, mind swirling with possibilities. What could it mean for them now? Jack's hands trembled as he stared at the phone, trying to understand the notification that had just disrupted the moment he had been savoring. Was it a simple job update? Or could it unravel what felt like a newfound sense of hope? With a quick tap, he opened the message. But instead of a professional correspondence, it was an audio file labeled Tyler. His gut tightened. What did his son want to share? He pressed play, bracing himself. Hey Dad, Tyler's hesitant voice filled the room, a mix of sweetness and sincerity wrapping around his words. I just wanted to say I really believe in you. I know you can get this job. I probably don't say it enough. But you're my hero. Jack's heart stopped. He felt a lump form in his throat as his son continued. You do so much for us. And even if it's scary, we're right here with you. Tears pricked the corners of Jack's eyes. Hearing those words from Tyler made everything feel real. It wasn't just a job interview, it was about something bigger. He realized the foundation of their home, the very fabric of their lives, was built on moments like these, the simple weight of love being shared. That he turned to see Sarah, her eyes glistening with unshed tears, overwhelmed by the message as well. She had heard it all, every beat and pause, every emotion externalized. He's so proud of you, Jack, she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. Jack allowed the weight of Tyler's love to sink in deeper. It wasn't just an interview, it represented the possibility of a life transformed not only for him but for their entire family. Standing in the kitchen, surrounded by the aromas of their planned dinner and the vibrant energy of his loved ones, he knew something had shifted. Let's make those tacos, Jack said, his voice steadier now. With enough for everyone, and maybe even a few leftovers. Yeah. Tyler chirped, his excitement bubbling back over. And don't forget the guac. Jack chuckled, relieved to shake off the shadows that had crept in. Together, they chopped vegetables, seasoned meat, and prepared sides, all the while sharing stories and laughter. The kitchen filled with their collective warmth. It was a comfort, a safe haven. As they assembled their food, Jack glanced out the window. The sun dipped low on the horizon, casting a golden hue over their small yard. He thought about the community center, the kids he could work with. He had always wanted to give back, to be a part of something greater than himself. And now, he felt the pulse of that opportunity getting stronger, almost within reach. Every time he started to think of possible failures, he felt his family's belief buoy him higher. Jack knew it wasn't just about him anymore, it was about them being together, forging this new path as a unit. As they settled down to their feast, laughter echoed, memories were created, and love was revived. Jack took a deep breath, savoring the moment. But just as he began to relax, his phone buzzed again. This time, it was an email notification, and the subject line sent a chill down his spine: "Your interview details." Could this be the moment that changed everything for their family? With cautious anticipation, he opened it, heart pounding in his chest, praying for the best. What would this next step reveal? Jack took a breath, feeling the world around him blur as he opened the email. The anticipation was dizzying. Would this be the bridge to a future he'd been dreaming of? He squinted at the screen, his heart racing as he scanned through the details. Interview date, tomorrow at 10 a.m. The letters seemed to jump off the page. Tomorrow. It was happening so fast. He tried to focus, but his mind shifted to Tyler's voice, reminding him that he was believed in, that he was a hero. He bit his lip, half terrified, half excited about the possibility. This job wasn't merely a way to support his family, it was a chance to bring passion back into his life, a chance to inspire others like his son had inspired him. "Dad?" Tyler's voice pulled him from his thoughts. The boy stood in the doorway, bright-eyed and hopeful. Jack looked up, forcing a smile. "Hey, buddy. What's up? Will you come to my soccer game this weekend?" Tyler asked, shifting his weight from one foot to the other, clearly nervous about something. "Of course. Wouldn't miss it for the world," Jack grinned, the heaviness in his chest easing a bit. "But I need to prepare for a big interview tomorrow, okay? You think we can celebrate after your game?" Tyler's face lit up. "Yeah. With ice cream?" "Absolutely. Deal." Jack ruffled Tyler's hair, feeling a rush of warmth spread through him. Here he was, worried about his own uncertainties, yet his son still counted on him to be there. His thoughts drifted again. How could he not get this job? He had to focus. The chances of a better life loomed large. Jack's phone buzzed again, this time a message from Sarah. He glanced at it. "Remember to eat something before the interview. Love you." A smile crept onto his face. Sarah always knew how to pull him back from the edge of doubt. He could almost feel her hand on his shoulder, grounding him. He glanced around the cheerful chaos of the kitchen, the remnants of dinner, the laughter still hanging in the air. The evening wore on with light-hearted banter, and soon it was time for bed. As Sarah tucked Tyler in, Jack headed to their bedroom, feeling exhausted but lighter. He needed to sleep but knew sleep wouldn't come easily. When he laid down, he found himself staring at the ceiling. What if tomorrow went wrong? The frustration of the unknown began to creep in, just as it always did. But with each worry, Tyler's voice echoed back in his mind, "We're right here with you." He felt a wave of determination wash over him. Tomorrow, no matter the outcome, he would take that step. It wasn't just for himself anymore, it was for his family, their dreams woven tightly into the fabric of his own hopes. As sleep finally began to claim him, a sudden thought pierced through. What if the interview went well? What if things really changed? He felt an unusual thrill at the idea, that could lead to new experiences, new opportunities to give back, and maybe even new connections to foster, but as excitement settled in, dread also lurked just beyond the corners of his mind. A sudden buzz from his phone interrupted his thoughts. Jack jolted upright, his heart racing again. Another email? He snatched his device from the nightstand and saw a notification that turned his stomach. "Your application status, under review." His heart sank. The last few hours of hope twisting into uncertainty. What did that mean for the interview? Would he still get that chance? Tomorrow suddenly felt monumental, and as uncertainty clouded his mind, Jack wondered just how far he was willing to reach for a dream. But what other surprises awaited him as he prepared to face the unknown? Jack woke with a jolt, the sunlight flooding through the curtains, casting stripes across the bedroom floor. His heart raced as he stared at the clock. 10 minutes until he needed to leave. Panic surged through him like a tidal wave. For a moment, he forgot everything: the application status, the interview, even Tyler's big game, until his eyes landed on Sarah's side of the bed. She was still asleep, her breathing calm and steady. It felt like a lifeline in the chaos of his thoughts. He let his emotions settle. He needed to channel that energy into something productive. He quietly slipped out of bed, careful not to wake her. The house was still. He made a beeline for the kitchen, the familiar smell of yesterday's dinner lingering in the air. He needed coffee. He needed clarity. As he waited for the brew to drip, he scrolled through his phone, seeking out that email again. His heart thudded in his chest. Under review. A sentence that could either open a door or slam it shut. Simon. He muttered under his breath. Focus. He thought back to Tyler's exhilaration after scoring a goal weeks earlier, that unfiltered joy. He realized he had to reflect that spirit. This interview wasn't just about him, it was about the life he wanted to build for his family. He poured himself a steaming cup, the rich aroma grounding him as he took a deep breath. The first sip warmed him from the inside out. Determined, he opened his laptop to review his notes one last time. The front door creaked, and Jack's heart skipped a beat. Tyler bounded in, dressed in his soccer uniform, too eager for school. Dad! Did you forget? I need my special breakfast. Jack couldn't help but smile at his son's enthusiasm. No way. I've got it right here. He quickly whipped up some eggs and toast. Tyler chatted away about his game, his eyes sparkling with hope and excitement. It reminded Jack of how Fridays used to be in his childhood, full of possibility, full of dreams. Do you think I can score? Tyler asked, tilting his head curiously. Of course. You've practiced hard, Jack said, dishing out encouragement. Just do your best and remember, we all believe in you. Just like you. Tyler grinned, and Jack felt the familiar warmth wash over him. This boy believed in him, really believed. A flicker of hope surged. He pressed his hand against his heart for a brief moment, feeling the weight of his son's faith and excitement lift him. Once Tyler dashed off to get his backpack, Jack sipped at his coffee and allowed himself a moment of quiet. He wondered again about the job and the implications it would have on their lives. Would he be enough? Could he really inspire people out there, or would he just fade into the background again? He shoved the anxiety aside as he dressed, the familiar collared shirt seeming like a superhero's cape. The feeling of fabric against his skin provided a rush of confidence. Dad! Are you ready? Tyler called impatiently. Almost, buddy. He grabbed his phone and checked the time again. He was cutting it close. Jack knelt beside Tyler, who was adjusting his socks. Hey, remember the deal. Ice cream after the game. Tyler's face lit up again, capturing Jack's heart in that moment. Yeah. And you promised to cheer the loudest? Absolutely. Jack said, scrunching his face playfully. They'll hear me all the way down the block. His son laughed, and for that instant, the worries faded. As they left the house, the sun shining brightly above them, Jack took a deep breath, letting the crisp morning air fill his lungs. He decided the keyword for today would be opportunity. He would face it all, head on and brave. He kissed Tyler goodbye as they reached the school. Go shine like the superstar I know you are. With a renewed fire in his belly, Jack headed to his car, ready to embrace whatever might come his way. But halfway to the interview, his phone buzzed again. A message flashed across the screen, and his heart raced. Your application status, updated. Could this finally be the clarity he needed? With trembling hands, he clicked it open, and the world around him faded into silence as he read the words that could change everything. Jack's breath caught in his throat as he stared at the screen. His heart raced, a mix of hope and fear swirling inside him. The words danced before his eyes. "We are excited to inform you." He barely absorbed the rest of the message, his mind lost in a whirl of emotion. Was this it? Had he finally made it? He pulled over to the side of the road, his hands gripping the steering wheel tightly. His pulse thudded in his ears as he read the next line, "We would like to schedule an interview for the position." His heart soared. He let out a quick laugh, disbelief mixing with joy. This was the opportunity he had been waiting for, the chance to change their lives. But the exhilaration twisted into anxiety as quickly as it had come. What if he dropped the ball? What if he stuttered or forgot his lines? What if he was not good enough? The thoughts threatened to pull him under like a riptide. He leaned back in his seat, taking deep breaths. Sarah needed him to be strong, to be confident. Jack bit his lip, steeling himself. He opened the email again, gathering every detail he could. The interview was in 2 days. This was it. He could already picture walking into the room, standing tall, connecting with the panel, and sharing his ideas. Just like he practiced. With a newfound resolve, he fired off a quick reply, confirming the time. Satisfaction washed over him. He was taking charge, making progress. Then, a sudden realization hit him hard. Tyler's big game was today. Pressure surged through him. He had promised to be there, to cheer him on at the sidelines. Would he make it? Time slipped through his fingers like sand. Minutes later, he was back on the road, the excitement momentarily dulled by the weight of responsibility. As he navigated traffic, he thought of Tyler. His son had worked so hard for this game. The thought of missing it clawed at his chest. He envisioned his boy, bouncing with energy, eyes glimmering with anticipation. What was the right choice? Chasing his dream could cost him moments like these, turning him into another ghost in his son's life. But to provide better for Tyler, he needed this job. His phone buzzed again. Jack looked down and saw a notification from Tyler's soccer team's chat group. Tyler's game is at 4 p.m. today. Suddenly, he knew he could make both happen. He pulled into a parking lot and checked the interview time again. If everything went smoothly, he could be at the game in time to see the last few minutes and cheer for his son. The thought ignited a fire within him. Yes. He whispered, pumping his fist in victory. He could do this. Everything was aligning at last. While still locked in this moment of triumph, confidence surged back to life. He imagined the roar of the crowd, the sound of Tyler's laughter, and how proud he would feel to be there for him, even if it was just for the end of the game. The car hummed along, the world rushing past him, and Jack couldn't help but smile. He was going to crush this interview. His family was counting on him, and for the first time in a while, he felt like he could make it all work. As he approached the office building for his interview, excitement bubbled within him. But just as he turned off the engine, his phone buzzed again. Another message flashed across the screen, but this one felt different. Voice message from Tyler. A knot of curiosity tightened in his stomach. What did his little boy want to say now? With an instinctive tug of anticipation, he clicked to listen, but the moment he heard Tyler's voice, his heart dropped. This was no ordinary message. The warmth of his son's love filled the air, but something deeper lay hidden in his words. Jack's breath hitched as he grasped the enormity of what Tyler was sharing. Jack's heart raced as he listened. Tyler's voice crackled through the speaker, innocent yet laced with an emotion that stopped Jack cold. "Dad, I wanted to tell you. I love you so much. I hope you come to my game today. I've been practicing a lot for you." Jack's chest tightened. The room around him vanished, shrinking into a single moment with just Tyler's words echoing. "And I want to score a goal just for you," the voice continued, tinged with eagerness. But there was something else, a softness that almost sounded like fear. "If you're busy and can't come, it's okay," Tyler added quickly, "but I really want to see you there." The sincerity in his son's voice wrapped around him like a warm blanket but pierced him too, like icy needles of guilt. Could it be that he had scared Tyler? Did he think that these important moments were slipping through the cracks, his dad too caught up in his own life to care? Jack felt that familiar storm of emotions rise within him, the pressure of wanting to provide versus the desire to be present. His finger hovered over the replay button, longing to savor that little voice, to memorize each inflection and sentiment. But he couldn't. He had an interview that could change everything, could finally put them on a better path. Yet, as he sat in the parking lot, those last words hung heavily in the air. He cleared his throat, trying to shake off that knot of fear. "I'll be there," he whispered, though he knew Tyler couldn't hear him. "I won't let you down." With a deep breath, it was a pledge as much to himself as to his son. Jack took the moment to collect himself before stepping out of the car. Thoughts of the interview weighed on his mind, but visions of Tyler's big smile tugged at his heart. Jack walked to the entrance, an invisible tug-of-war raging within him. The receptionist greeted him with a warm smile, and for a fleeting moment, he felt the reassurance he needed. He straightened his tie, reminding himself of the preparation that had led him to this point. As he waited, he pictured Tyler out there on the field, running and kicking, his joy radiating like sunshine. The door swung open, and a panel of 3 people beckoned him inside. Jack stepped into the room, the buzz of excitement momentarily drowned out by the weight of his responsibility. He took his seat, heart pounding. The first question hit him like a splash of cold water. "Tell us about yourself, Jack," one of the interviewers started, eyes scanning him with curiosity. This was it. Reluctantly, he shook off thoughts about Tyler's sweet, but serious message. He focused on the present, the dreams he'd woven for his family, introducing himself as the passionate, driven man who wanted to make a difference. But the pressure didn't leave him alone. In between questions, he caught himself fretting over the game. Would he really make it in time? Would Tyler understand if he had to stay longer? The interview progressed, but Jack felt ensnared by doubt, like he was pulling double duty, part dad, part job seeker. Each answer felt like a balancing act. He wanted to instill confidence in the panel but worried about the little boy cheering for him on the field, who was also carrying the weight of their family's hopes. Minutes slipped by, finally reaching the conclusion. They thanked him, and as he stood to leave, he felt lighter, but that heaviness lingered. Outside the building, the sunlight glimmered with promise, but he was haunted by the thought of letting Tyler down. He couldn't let that happen. Jack rushed back to the car, firing up the engine with urgency. He needed to get to the game, needed to hear that cheer, needed to see the glowing face of his son. But just as he reached the main road, his phone buzzed again. A notification flashed across the screen, Tyler's team chat. Jack fought the urge to check as anxiety gripped him. What could this mean? What if something had gone wrong? As he merged into the traffic, his mind raced. Would he ever truly balance these worlds? He took a breath and pressed on, determined to find out. As Jack merged into the traffic, his heart was pounding against his ribs. He imagined Tyler on the field, a whirlwind of energy in a jersey 2 sizes too big, arms flailing as he chased the ball amidst a sea of kids who didn't care about the stakes, just the joy of the game. But was that joy slipping away? Jack had sensed it in his son's voice. That underlying fear was unsettling. The phone buzzed again, pulling him back into the present moment. Ignoring it wasn't an option, not anymore. With one quick glance, he unlocked the screen, desperate for answers. The message from the team chat was brief, a group text flooded with light-hearted banter and planning. Tyler had sent a picture of the team, goofy grins plastered on every face. In the corner, a tiny string of words caught his eye, excited for today. "Can't wait to see you, Dad." That burst of excitement lit a small flame in Jack's chest, but it was quickly extinguished by the reminder of how far he'd drifted. What if he didn't make it in time? Would Tyler be left waiting, searching the crowd for a familiar face that might not appear? Shaking his head, he pressed down on the gas. He could make this work. Traffic had to clear. He thought about calling Tyler, but the idea of interrupting that innocent anticipation felt wrong. Instead, he sent a quick message, fingers trembling as he typed, "On my way, buddy. I'm in the car now. Keep your eyes peeled." With the message sent, he tried to picture Tyler's smile in response, that beaming face filled with the unwavering optimism only a child could hold. He chewed his lip, amazed at how a simple text had the power to both soothe and swell his heart. Finally, they slowed to a crawl. Jack's frustration bubbled up, but he took a moment to breathe, allowing the warmth of Tyler's earlier words to wash over him, reminding him why he was so set on this job. The sun was beginning to dip, casting golden rays over the town, creating a calming scene that momentarily distracted him from the mounting worry. As he inched closer to the field, he could hear distant cheers echoing confidently in the afternoon air. His pulse quickened at the sound, each shout a reminder of the stakes, each clap of hands a moment he wouldn't want to miss. When he finally found a parking spot, he jumped out, throwing the car door open with fervor. He sprinted toward the field, breathless and fueled by determination. This was not just a game, it was the lifeline connecting him to his son, bridging the divide he felt when work took precedence over family. As the bright colors of the soccer jerseys came into view, each joyful shout from the field drew him closer to a world where nothing else mattered. But as he reached the sidelines, a sudden twist of fate met him. The crowd was cheering wildly. Tyler was on the field, kicking the ball towards the goal. Jack's heart soared, until he saw his son stumble. Panic coursed through him as he watched Tyler fall to the ground, clearly in pain. Jack's stomach dropped. He took a step forward, instincts flaring, ready to rush to his son's side. But the world around him blurred, the furious cheers fading into hushed uncertainty. Would Tyler look to him in distress or betrayal? Would he still believe his dad would always show up? Jack stood frozen, uncertainty trembling in his chest. Everything he hoped to balance now hung in one moment. Tyler remained on the ground, looking up, eyes wide, searching. Was he looking for his dad? Jack's pulse raced as he grappled with the weight of the moment. What was about to unfold would change everything. Time slowed as Jack stood at the edge of the field, swept up in a storm of worry and determination. Tyler lay there, clutching his knee, quick breaths escaping his lips. The vibrant roar of the crowd faded into a dull murmur as Jack's heart pounded in his ears. This was the moment of truth. Would he be the father Tyler needed, the one who showed up? With every ounce of energy, he sprinted onto the field, pushing past the other players, their cheerful shouts overshadowed by the urgent need to reach his son. As he approached, time seemed to snap back into focus. Tyler's gaze locked onto him, eyes flickering with a mix of pain and hope. Jack reached his son just as the referee knelt beside Tyler, concern etched across his face. "Tyler!" Jack called, kneeling down beside him, his voice filled with both tenderness and urgency. "I'm okay, just a little hurt," Tyler managed, tears glistening in his eyes but not falling. Jack could see the resolve in his son even through the fear. That same resilience he admired so deeply. "No, you're not okay," Jack said softly, concern flooding his voice as he brushed Tyler's hair back from his sweaty forehead. "We need to get you looked at." Just before he could lift Tyler, the boy spoke again, his voice small yet steady. "Dad, did you make it to the interview?" Jack stopped, the weight of his son's words washing over him in waves. Here was Tyler, in pain on the field, and still worried about his dad's big moment. "Yes, buddy, I did." Jack squeezed Tyler's shoulder reassuringly. "I'm here now. That's what matters." The referee stood up, giving Tyler a sympathetic nod. "I think it's best if you play it safe and take a breather." As Tyler's teammates gathered around, Jack squared his shoulders. "Hey, listen," he whispered, leaning closer, "this doesn't change anything. You're still one of the best players out there. You'll get back in when you're ready." Tyler's chin quivered, but he nodded, fighting back tears, trying to be brave. At that moment, it became crystal clear. This was more than just an interview or a job. It was about being there, loving fiercely, and knowing how to embrace every single moment, both the highs and the lows. Jack couldn't miss out on any of it again. Tyler glanced at him, a flicker of doubt in his eyes melting into hope. "You really mean that?" he asked, small voice full of longing. "Absolutely," Jack replied, his heart brimming with warmth and connection. The game continued around them, and as the minutes ticked by, Jack stayed by Tyler's side while teammates shouted encouragement from the sidelines. He looked up to see Sarah standing at the edge of the field, her eyes wide with concern morphing into relief as she spotted them together. In her gaze, Jack finally felt the home he sought to build. Family, togetherness, unwavering support, that was the heart of their struggle, not just to survive, but to thrive in this crazy, beautiful life. Tyler's coach approached with a concerned expression. "How is he doing?" "I think he just needs a moment," Jack responded, keeping his eyes on Tyler. "He's tough." In a heartfelt moment, Tyler turned to Jack, his expression softening. "Thanks for being here, Dad." Those simple words resonated within Jack, filling every crevice of doubt with warmth. "I'll always be here, Ty. No matter what." Slowly, Tyler's determination returned. "I want to play," he said, a hint of fire igniting in his eyes. Jack smiled, tears threatening to spill as he took in the moment. "Then let us get you back in there." As Tyler's coach helped him to his feet, Jack stepped back, allowing him to rejoin his team. He cheered as his son limped back, joining the huddle of kids ready to give it their all despite the challenges. "Go, Tyler!" Jack shouted, the pride bursting forth like fireworks inside him. The game continued, and Jack watched as new energy surged back into Tyler. He could see a flicker of determination lighting up his son's face each time he got involved, each time the ball came near. The sweet taste of connection seemed to permeate the air around them, and every word exchanged felt like a promise. Woven into the fabric of their lives, the seconds turned into minutes, and as the whistle blew for the last time, Tyler scored, a beautiful kick sending the ball into the net, sending the crowd into an uproar, erupting into screams of joy. Jack's heart swelled with pride and unshakable love. Tyler was beaming, eyes sparkling, radiating an exuberance that made every anxious heartbeat worthwhile. It was in this moment that he understood. Yes, he had to secure that job to provide for them, but this moment, this feeling, was what really mattered. Tyler ran towards him, arms outstretched, colliding into Jack's embrace. Laughter bubbled over as Jack lifted him off his feet, spinning around in sheer joy. "You did it! You were amazing!" Jack shouted, both of them caught in a whirlwind of happiness. They pulled back, and Tyler looked searchingly into Jack's eyes. "Thanks for coming, Dad." The vulnerability in his voice tore at Jack's heart. "Thanks for playing, buddy. You showed me what being a hero really is," he replied. Their bond forged anew. The surrounding crowd melted away, but Jack felt that familiar pulse of love binding them together. Whether he got that job or not, this connection was what his whole journey was for. Jack turned, feeling Sarah's presence beside him. She met his gaze, and the weight of the world slipped away, replaced by understanding and pride. "Jack, you made it in time," she said softly. He smiled warmly, the realization settling into his bones. "I wouldn't miss it for anything." Together, they stood with Tyler. The future felt bright, filled with promise and potential. And no matter what challenges lay ahead, Jack knew they would tackle them side by side, united. With his heart full of hope and reflection, he also remembered, tomorrow was a new day, a chance to chase down not just opportunities but what truly made them family. Jack looked at Tyler and smiled wider than ever. "Let us go celebrate with ice cream, and I'll tell you all about the interview." And hand in hand, they walked towards what awaited them. Life was about celebrating each small victory as a family, a journey filled with love, laughter, and moments that turned their hearts to gold. Now, here's where you come in. You need to subscribe now to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and show your excitement for more incredible transformations. Comment below with your reactions and feelings about this ending. Let us talk about it. and Don T. Wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this powerful story of connection and family. Your support truly means the world. Let us keep growing together.